Welcome to the main screen of Brightspace from the parent view when you have more than one child in the school. So, Michael Flood, a teacher at the high school, has two children in the school system. He has Faith in the high school and Ruthie in the middle school. I teach Ruthie, and he has his daughter in physics. So, what he can do once he gets here is he can select whichever child he wants to take a look at her work. So, we'll start with Faith. And a couple of things to know as this is opening up is that Faith is a very strong student, and yet I see that she owes a lot of work. So, when you are working with your own kid and the teachers, you need to take a few minutes to understand how they use this. Know that Brightspace was brand new in our district this year, so this might be different next year. But some teachers are clearly not grading in Brightspace because Faith would not have this much overdue work. So, it says Faith is running behind. That is probably not accurate. So I'm going to go right by that and I'm going to see that she has some upcoming work and I can view all of that work should I want to. She has some recent grades. And then there's some places where you can see the posts that teachers put in. This, if it says September 10th, what would happen is this is pinned by a teacher. You can see that pin. So it will always show up on the top, even though there's newer posts sooner down below. So you can see that there's these recent posts. It looks like several of her teachers use posts each week. So every single teacher approaches things differently. So you may see no posts for some classes because they don't do them. So if we go into her work, we can view grades. And right now, we can see all of her courses, but we can pick by class. So if I go into college physics, I can see what her current average is. If I go, and that means that her teacher is using Brightspace for grades. If I go into English, I cannot see a perfect her average, but I know that her teacher is using Brightspace. Now you can see this grade of 8%, you probably know something is wrong. That's when you have a conversation with your child and say, hey, you have an 8%. Do you think that's typical for you? And there's probably a grading error that I know my son had the same grading error and it was fixed in School Tool because you can see the rest of the grades look fine. This will happen. It happens in all systems. If we go to health, you can see, okay, so she had to do a quote response from the social dilemma. There's this spot right here that says show feedback. So you can click that right open and just see the feedback without having to drill into the whole assignment. Or you can go right into the entire assignment if there's a little arrow on the right. There is no arrow here, which means there was nothing attached for us to open up and see. So if I go back to physics, I'll see these arrows, and the arrows mean that I can go in and I can see a little bit more. So I can see the instructions as a parent, and I can see any attachments, and then I can see the submissions. So you really have quite a window into the student work. So if I go back and I want to go back to the dashboard, I can switch to Ruthie, and I'll see very similar items for Ruthie. This will load in a minute. And I can view all of Ruthie's grades and see, okay, so we have some feedback. I can look at feedback. And if I click all the way in, this is her algebra, I can see what the assignment is. And there was nothing attached for this. So I can go down and I can take a look at all of these things and do the little right click. It tells what to do. It shows the test. Here's the feedback. And she has her copy system. She has uploaded this. So if you want to see it, you have to click in and download it, and that's okay. You can access that, but I can go through as a parent and see all of her stuff should I want to. So there's a lot you can see here. And then when I want to get out of this and click back to the dashboard, and I can switch over to the other child if I'd like to.